The Future PAC, which is backed by many in the business community, recently produced and distributed some, I think it's fair to call them attack ads. They certainly attacked some residents of Jupiter Island. Wanted to get your take on those ads. Were they appropriate? Is that the kind of campaigning we want to see in Martin County? I'll start with you, Andy.
Well, Eve, you may not have seen the one that's in the mail today. Their third ad is in the mail, and Incumbent Smith supporters are criticizing me of having a $200,000 nest egg and being basically a trust fund baby. If that isn't humorous, I was the recipient, both parents died, and I got a bequest. The incumbent, the year he ran, his financial disclosure had over $350,000 of unearned income. I wish that Future PAC, instead of trying to assassinate character, would fundamentally just take on the positions and the issues and stop trying to attack their champions' opponents just on the basis of what are really insulting character attacks. And I wish that Mr. Smith would send that message to them today, loudly and clearly.
Thanks. Tom?
No. Fortunately, I appear to be between two blue bloods. I am not a blue blood, so they wouldn't be able to chastise me. But I could say that, you know, some people believe that when some people advertise and your name is there, if it's there, they recognize your name. So on one hand, you know, it's getting out to thousands and thousands of people. On the other hand, no, I do not believe we need to find this type of advertising in our mail. I don't appreciate it. Although it's, you know, I don't feel it's levied directly at me. I think it's directly at a policy. They're worried. They're worried about the policy change that's coming. Don't forget, these postcards went out before this decision this past week. And that what I see basically is, we better step on the gas here and get some more of this literature out here because the tide's turning. I do not believe in that type of process. Interestingly enough, I can't afford that type of process, nor do I think that I would do it. I think I would want to pass out or get my name out there, basically let them know who I am in terms of what I would do as commissioner. No, I don't believe in negative ads, and I hope that they do stop. Thank you.
Thanks. Doug?
I guess just as a starting point, when anybody talks about my past, I am very proud of my past. I'm very proud of my family's past. Both had significant industries in our country and played a significant role through history in things that we all use today. And so any characterization of my family and my past, I sort of take offensively. I'm enough of that. I'm very proud of where I come from and how I am here today. I run my campaign and always have for the 12 years I've been doing this. Without criticizing my opponents, I talk about me, I talk about what I want to accomplish, I talk about the ideas I have behind me, and that's how I stick to my campaign. I'm not out to talk about my opponents. I'm not out to push them down or say anything about them. I'm here to talk about what I'm going to do for you as your county commissioner and how I will look at things and how I view policy. That's it. If there are others out there that choose to conduct the type of campaigns that they conduct, that's their choice. I don't get involved in it. It's not a question of condoning it one way or the other. The other side has had their fair share of things said over the years that should be called into question as well, and even recently. So my campaign, what I have control over and how I lay out my campaign is about what I'm going to do as your county commissioner for you for the next 4 years.
So you don't condone it. You also don't condemn it.
Eve, I have no control over it. I really don't. And the folks that are involved in the campaign's peripheral, whether they're one side or the other, they all have their way of doing what their messaging is. And I don't choose to get into that. I don't need to get into that. I worry about my campaign, and I'm very tight on my campaign and how I run it, and I'm very proud about my record of my campaigns.
Doug, what would you say to the theory that leaders like yourself, experienced like yourself, if you stood up and took a stance against that kind of nonsense, wouldn't that help stop that kind of stuff?
You know, I don't know. I have voiced my concerns before in terms of how people approach what they say and what they do. But I think there is that level of frustration that exists in the community. I think that people have, you know, they reach points where they have I guess they have a level at which they reach a point, and they feel the need to push back like that. I do not understand why national campaigns and even regional state campaigns act the way they do and go into the mudslinging they do. I have no doubt in October we will see an unparalleled amount of negative campaigning. And certainly at the national level that could be stopped too, I suspect, but it doesn't. It happens and it exists. I choose to run my campaign the way I do, and I certainly have my own way of messaging to folks that I think that maybe the approach, the wording, the language that they use maybe isn't the best direction that should occur, but that's their choice. I choose to stay out of it and keep clean on my end.